Hey, it's Gary from GTR Consulting, and we're back to talk about Gen Z and their intense need to seek normal. They, like the rest of us, are tired of being by themselves. They've learned that not only do they desire the social interaction, but they need other people just to remind them of their responsibilities. They use the normal social contract to their advantage to keep them on task and help to remind them to focus. Let's have a listen to what some of these Gen Z college students had to say.
So it's not necessarily like I need other people to be reminding me of stuff. It's just that when other people are around, I am more mindful of how I'm spending my time, what I'm doing. And so because I'm more mindful of it, I tend to be more responsible with what I'm doing. I would go to places with people in order to make sure I was doing my work. And like I was kind of something I was doing unconsciously. I never realized until COVID happened.
Especially with living in the dorm alone in the fall, because I just wasn't used to being by myself 24/7. I had always had my family. I was just living in the house with people and going to classes over Zoom and that sort of thing. I had always had that connection. So I just go from like living with people to just going to the complete opposite and just being in isolation. And that was definitely tough. It was an adjustment. And it just made me realize that even though I don't consider myself an extrovert, human connection is just needed for everyone.
Where we'll have a silent writing time. As someone who is a writer and writes a lot, it's been alternately nice to have time to focus and really hard just to be working alone and not having anyone to swap feedback with. So we'll just sit there for like hours in silence as everyone on their end of the Zoom quietly works on their own things.
Like FaceTimes like with people in my classes when we're just working on the same assignment. Because it can feel a little less taxing than to have to pick up your phone and text someone like, hey, I'm stuck on number 3. Can you help me? And if they're on your phone right next to you, you can just look up and ask them. So it feels a little bit more normal.
I now have multiple phone calls every day. It used to be for me that if I wanted social interaction, I could go to school. I would see my friends in my apartment. I could schedule a day out on the town with a group. And now I feel like everyone is so starved for real personal interaction, and we're trying to scrabble to fill that gap however we can. And I definitely find myself reaching for phone calls as a way of connecting one-on-one that feels like I have a friend with me in my daily life. I have really loved like getting to reconnect with my friends in a way that feels more real and more real time and a little more intimate than texting. I am in a sort of constant contact with everyone, even if it's not as satisfying as seeing them in person would be.
So marketers must remember that this is a year unlike any we've seen before. If the country continues to open up after the pandemic, Gen Z will do whatever they can to immerse themselves in their community in real life. They're desperate for this connection, and marketers must recognize it, appreciate it, and acknowledge it. So this is Gary Rudman, your friendly neighborhood Gen Z expert, signing off. Remember, stay safe, wear a mask, take any shot you can get. Peace.